Hello, guys. It's me, Aswat. This is a very interesting character from Hollywood, from the social media group of people, and her name is Tana Mongeau. Okay, I like that. First of all, I just want to mention that I like her name. It's a Tana Tana, and Mongeau is somehow pronounced Mojo. I'm simplifying it, but that's how it sounds like. Tana Mojo. So I am fascinated by the character because she is one of the early star of YouTubers, early star of YouTube, and she's on the same level as Logan Paul, Jake Paul, and in fact that she used to be married to Jake Paul. um, some background about her, and also another part of it, of her fact that made me find her interesting, is she's only 24 now. She's only 24. So at 24 this year, it's not 24 when she broke into the YouTube scene, but she's been there like early 20s or much younger, much younger. And Tana Mojo has this reputation that she's been cancelled so many times. In fact, mentioning of cancel, she has her own YouTube place, and her YouTube channel is called Cancel, appropriately called Cancel. And this is like her think piece. You can hear her talk about her views and whatnot. And like I said again, she's 24. But if you know anything about her, I think she has lived a full life early on, and she made it big. She made her dream came true. She became a millionaire, and I'm not making this up. She is very rich by now, and at 24, she done everything. So when I was 24, I was still naive, but when she is right now, she's gone through it all. So in her YouTube channel called Cancel, she talks about everything, about drug use, about sex, about who she's sleeping with now, and how many boyfriends she's having at the same time. That's the kind of theme or topic that she talks about on her channel. So she's very mature for her age because she gone through a lot. She lived a very fast life in Los Angeles. Okay. And I find that very interesting that you become rich so early on, so struck from young and whatnot. What do you do with your money? What do you do with your life? She really enjoys it so much. But at the same time, she's learning, regardless of how much money you make, at 24, you are still young, and she's also still learning about things like betrayal. She's been surrounded by people who are not her good friends, and we're gonna get into that for a bit. But the main theme here, like I said, that she has a place called Cancel on YouTube, and how it's a regular kind of page, kind of channel that they get guests. They upload regularly, like once a week or twice a week, But there's always some regular content, unless she's, traveling or enjoying herself. All she needs money, because the only reason she does this because she gets a lot of money for her ads, advertisement on her channel. And let me tell you something. Of all the advertisements on YouTube channel that is prevalent currently, I think Tana Mongeau has one of the best ad read I've ever heard. She's very professional. It means that she's trained. Her manager gave her training, sent her to training to how to read advertisements on, and she does it very well. I respect her also for that. I know it's not a big thing, but I do appreciate when people take the effort to do the advertisement read very proper and very clearly, and was professionally done. She has training. So why am I making this video? Okay, I find her characters, besides finding her character very interesting at such a young age, like I said, her channel is named Cancel, but recently her content stopped. She stopped making content, and I think that's why my title is Tana Mongeau Cancel Again, because she's been cancelled a few times. Because she did one time that she had a very ambitious thing, that she had a whole convention about her. They call it a TanaCon or something, but it was a big failure. It was a huge failure, and people cancel her for it. But she's rebound. Right? I think that was so young. I mean, she's still young at 24, but that happened earlier. And you can, if you go through YouTube, you can just Google or find out about TanaCon. What happened? You can read it. You can watch it out. Very interesting. But from that event, people like you and me, we can see the kind of fans that she has are mostly young people, young girls. You don't see adults there, but you you mostly see young girls, and they are a big fan of hers. Just like Logan Paul and whatnot. All these people, all these YouTube superstars, Felix or PewDiePie or whoever. Most of these people, their fans are young people, young audience. But it sometimes, goes against their image on the content area, where they talk a lot about drug addiction, sex life, and whatnot. At 24, if you hear her stories about how many men she slept with, her, promoting all this kind of drug use and whatnot, it looks like she's like in her 30s or in her 40s, no, but she's only 24, and she's like already an expert in scandals and whatnot. It's crazy. But I was told that it was quite normal in Hollywood and this lifestyle. So recently, her, if you look at it will go up every month. There will be every month or every other week that her content will come out. Her podcast, the Cancel channel, will have content for audience. Until the latest one, if you can look here, a formal apology from us, Cancel episode 28. I think that's the last one. The last one that they came out with a formal apology from Tana Mongeau and her co-conspirator, co-host, Brooke. Okay. What happened was, why did she did the apology video? Before that, you have to go and see the video. Before that, she hooked up with her own cousin for OnlyFans. Now, it might sound harmless, but what happened in that podcast, they invited a porn star, a literal porn star, and I don't even know her name, but a porn star that, it's not a orgy podcast or video, but when the porn star came on the podcast, on the video, YouTube video, all that conversation is about sex, anal sex. It's about porno, like how people can get into it. Now, mind you, her audience are young girls. Nobody over 30 or above. Old people don't watch her videos, man. Her audience are mostly young kids, and her advertisers are respectable. They are very high-paying advertisers because she put the effort, and it does bring her revenue. But I think when they had this porn star on this video and talking about incest, she hook up with a cousin. The porno star is very brave. She talks about everything, anal sex, incest, everything. This is on her children friendly podcast. Before this, she talked about a lot about sex, but this is like crossing the boundaries a bit, and not a bit, not a lot. Yeah, I couldn't listen to I can't listen to the end because all they talk about is sex, anal sex, how to get into the porn career, porn world, whatnot. It was just not suitable for PG audience, and I think she had got a backlash and that's why that formal apology video that she made with her friend, formal apology from us. That's her and Brooke. I think that was the last. I think the last, and I think for a while. I think it would be a last for a while. I think not only that, she and her co-host I think also broke up, Brooke. But the good thing about how I found out about that was that in the conversation that she had in the apology video and previous video, Brooke is not a really good friend. Brooke is really not a good friend. I mean, but the good thing about Tana Mongeau is she will openly talk about her problem on air. But she does it in a way that she doesn't use an angry voice or angry tone. She makes jokes about them. Whenever she has a problem with anybody, she will do a funny story, funny jokes, in a funny manner, not in an angry tone at all. So she openly talks about her ex-boyfriend, whatever they do, but you don't find that whenever she says them, talk about them, she doesn't do it in a hostile tone or whatnot. So in the same voice that she does all that, she also talks about Brooke. And Brooke, she said openly, to Brooke about her trying to steal shoes. Brooke trying to hide what she stole her shoes. Brooke, her friend, stole Tana Mongeau's shoes, and she openly said expensive shoes, and trying to hide them when she walks into the room, and pretending that she does, thinking that Tana Mongeau doesn't what do you call that, doesn't pick up on that, but she knows what Brooke is trying to do. And I think it's very good that Tana Mongeau called Brooke up, but she does it in a way that I said earlier. She does it in a very funny way, because I think Brooke and a lot of people hanging around her have been stealing from her. I think there was one gay guy that keep hanging around her. They openly tell stories about trying to take things from Tana Mongeau, trying to steal her things. They openly talk about it. And Brooke is really like a very toxic person. I mean, she has brought up so many stories about Brooke came up. Like she spread rumors about a lot of people in Hollywood. She's saying these people do this, do that bad thing, ruin other people's reputation. And Tana Mongeau tolerate that because she's a good buddy, and at the same time, I don't think Tana Mongeau has a lot of friends. I mean that she can openly talk on YouTube and whatnot. So she said Tana Mongeau tried to steal her stuff and whatnot, trying to hide it. And I think it hit Brooke when she said that. I think it hit her deep that Tana Mongeau is calling her out on the podcast where they had a lot of fans. And I think that really just shattered the whole thing. And because of the porn star coming up as a guest on the air, I think that was also Brooke's idea. They can say that it was all of it is Tana Mongeau's idea to bring a porn star on air. I think Brooke was really excited on that podcast. So so that podcast created controversy, and so advertisers are PG. Advertisers, when you run an advertisement on somebody, they want it to be for a mass audience, not a small audience. So when you start talking about porn star, anal sex and whatnot, that really scared off the advertisers, and now they don't want. The theory is they don't want to advertise anymore on the Cancel podcast. So that's why my title of the video um, is Tana Mongeau cancel again? Yeah, because she will not do the podcast if there nobody's paying for it. It's not me. She's not doing this for free. She's doing it for advertisement, and she wants to, build up that reputation that she can sell off your product. She can you put advertisement on her show that you can get a lot of people's attention. Now the advertisers are worried that she's going to talk about porn and whatnot, because it's not a PG thing, it's not a PG-13 thing, it's a very X-rated thing, and it's not suitable for young kids. So that's why I think that right now her her channel is cancelled again until she rebuilt her reputation back. She's still around. I mean, you Google her name on YouTube even. She's appearing on other people podcasts, and people have asked her on those podcasts about when are you going to start doing cancel videos again. There's nothing from her. She just keeps saying that I'm just gonna hang around, gonna chill. People ask about her relationship with Brooke. She's very, very politically correct about it. She's very diplomatic about it. She said, like, okay, me and Brooke, we are in a good place, but that's it. She doesn't go into deep and whatnot. She keeps saying that Brooke is doing her stuff, she's enjoying herself, and blah blah blah. But I do know that this thing pops up. The thing that in her life that is so messed up, that they still each other boyfriends. Sometimes they sleep with the same people, or Brooke will try to seduce men that she likes and whatnot. It's very, dog eat dog and backstabby kind of girl, LA girl kind of relationship. Very toxic, not healthy at all. And especially when you start thinking of calculating in, she tries to steal things from Tana Mongeau and trying to hide it from her, thinking that she's so stupid she won't realize it. Because Tana has always have this kind of crowd around her. People come over her house, so many people, and she's missing a lot of things. People like to take things from her, stealing things because people think that Tana Mongeau is rich, so she doesn't mind if she lose a few things. So they openly would take things from her, to steal things from her. I think that's a big problem. And then she's at 24, and I think something just clicked in her. She had a talk through with somebody, especially when this kind of drama comes out about the porno star on your podcast, and reconsidering whether those people are really her friends or not. She is 24, she's still learning. Like, I gone through drama, man, and I only learned in my 40s, kind of stuff, and I haven't been like her. She's experiencing so much. I have very experience. I have so little experience, unlike her in in that kind of sex life, drug life, backstabby life. People want your money and people betraying you, and you gone through a lot of similar thing, but not at her level. She's a millionaire, and people would just want to abuse her, and that's the background, the current background in her life is just a bit of a very chaotic kind of LA life right now. People are just trying to find new content, and the people like Logan Paul or Tana Mongeau, Jeffree Star, and blah 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 blah. These kind of people are on the way out, and now they are desperately trying to find a new way to survive, to move on. They got into the NFT, crypto culture, but all of that is now being burned to the ground, and everybody's finding their ways on how to move on and make more money, while they still can. So that's the video that I want to make, but just to give an explanation why I think Tana Mongeau is cancelled again. It's a lesson learned. It's not so much. The thing is not so much that it's like I like her as a character. I find her character very interesting and her life choices very interesting. But it's also something that you can learn, that she really has it all. But why on earth would you bring a porn star on your PG rated podcast where the audience are young girls and talk about sex, anal sex, porn industry and whatnot? I mean, it's just really off brand, and people are, brands are really getting away from that. So they don't want this kind of role model anymore. This is not a good role model. Anyway, that's it. That's my really short video just to touch on this very interesting character. I already had this plan for a long time ago. I really want to finish this because I don't want him. Anything can happen with Tana. She could just come back. But at the moment, in June 2022, this is going to be another cancellation for Tana Mongeau. And I do hope she gets, good friends, uh, better guidance from managers and whatnot, because if not, at 24 people can easily exploit you, use you, steal your stuff, and you are still growing up, you're still learning. Most people, so at this age, you can read, they go to suicide, they go to drugs and whatnot. So I hope that doesn't happen to her. But it's just a good, a wake up call for everybody to just be aware of your surroundings. Just be aware that some people are not here to just be your supporter, but they some secretly become your backstabber. Okay, that's it. That's my video on Tana Mongeau. Thanks for allocating your time, spending time with me. Anyway, you have a good day. Peace.